It's just a prank, bro. I was just kidding. Why are you freaking out? But of course, all of this has raised a spotlight on the fear of domestic terrorism. You know, there, according to the National Institute of Justice, militant, nationalistic, white supremacist violent extremism has increased in the United States. But also now the number of far-right attacks continuing to outpace all other types of terrorism and domestic violent extremism. And then let's talk about some requested quickie news, starting with Mr. Beast. Because we just got a wild peek behind the Mr. Beast curtain thanks to a lawsuit. Because as you might remember, he has a lawsuit against the partner company to Mr. Beast Burger, with Jimmy saying the food wasn't good, that it was undermining his brand. That company also then countersuing him. But we just learned so much from this court filing, starting with the fact that he is expected to make $700 million this year, which is massive on its own, but it's also 3 times the $223 million he made last year. And from this asset and monetization review, it appears to be from everything, split across content, commerce, and real estate. So everything from sponsorships of video, licensing, content syndication, merch sales, the candy bars, as well as his international dubbing studio, Creator Global, his analytics platform, ViewStaps that he just announced. And it also appears that this court filing exposed that he's planning to launch 2 more businesses next year, starting with a mobile game and a beverage brand. They're looking like they're planning to monetize the game through a hybrid model that includes in-app purchases and advertising. Of course, Mr. Beast not just breathing that rarefied air by himself, but there's also knowing the likes of Logan Paul and KSI sold over $1.2 billion worth of Prime last year. You know, all of this as we get more public information just showing the strength of these creator-built brands. Also on the topic of people turning fame into fortune, we should talk about Andrew Tate being back in the news. Right? And that because his crypto token just blew past the one launched by Iggy Azalea, which by the way, what a fucking sentence that was. But yeah, his Daddy Tate meme coin, which he began promoting on Tuesday, hit a market cap of $300 million, spiking more than 200% in 24 hours. Meanwhile, Mother Iggy's market cap got cut nearly half to $150 million. So this, as Daddy Tate, may rest on some shaky foundation, with crypto analytics firm Bubble Maps alleging that it is rife with insider trading. Writing, insiders bought 30% of the supply at launch before Andrew Tate started to promote it on X. Now with that, it couldn't confirm with certainty that the suspicious wallets which bought the coin were connected, but seemingly the fact that they were all funded with identical amounts at the same time strongly suggests they are. With also then Tate himself holding some 40% of the token supply, which is why you have people saying if he or any of the alleged insiders started selling it off, the newer investors would be fucked. Though also, to be fair here, Bubble Maps also accused Mother Iggy of insider trading back in May, with insiders allegedly purchasing 20% of the supply before Azalea promoted it. But then the final quickie news is, I feel like you could sum it up by just saying people are tired of waiting, right? And this coming on the heels of the last half of season 3 of Bridgerton dropping this morning, with some seemingly hesitant to binge it because showrunner Jess Brunell said yesterday that it's going to take 2 years for them to put out season 4, explaining we are working to try and put the seasons out more quickly, but they do take 8 months to film, and they have to be edited, and then they have to be dubbed into every language. And the writing takes a very long time as well. And while for a lot of fans that wait is going to be very disappointing, you also have many saying this is increasingly how shows are made now. And with that, pointing to things like, the 4th season of Stranger Things that aired in 2022, and the final season still isn't expected till next year, which is also basically the same for The Handmaid's Tale over on Hulu. Also, after a 2-year wait this morning, The Boys season 4 dropped, so just the first 3 episodes. Also, I'll say something to stave off the waits there. I'm really happy with Gen V. I'm very interested to see what they do next season. So among other things, you got like Disney fans worried that they're going to drop the ball and Percy Jackson kids are going to be in their fucking 30s before they finish adapting everything. And all of this is you have people noting that seasons have gotten shorter. Or with people saying it used to be you'd get 20 episodes every year. Now you're getting 10 or 8 every 2 years. Some it's 6. And some saying if you let shows start filming while the writers finish the later episodes, as has been the way on network TV forever, the wait is a lot shorter and non-EP writers might actually get the chance to help out on set and produce and properly train. So this, as you had others pushing back saying, if there's a show you really like, but the next season is still a bit off, there are thousands of other shows you can watch while waiting. It's better there are shorter seasons that take longer if it means the workers have better conditions and the final product is higher quality. Which I will say, I still feel like we are in a great place regarding the quality of television. Like, yes, because a lot of streaming giants want to have a lot of content. There's a lot of garbage series out there, kind of filler content. There is a lot of really quality, what I would call prestige TV out there. I feel like there's so much out there, I find myself accidentally stumbling into stuff I love. Like just last week, I binged through season 1 of Interview with the Vampire, the series, which I didn't even know was a thing. It was pretty solid, and it's just out there. Yeah, what are your thoughts on any of this? And then sometimes I'm just flabbergasted at how brazen criminals are. It borders on impressed, but it falls short because I'm not aspiring to crime. There's just this certain level of no fucks to give it to that I'm like, man, I wish I had a little bit of that in me, because I get anxious walking through a detector at a store when I know I haven't stolen something. thing. But all of that is to say, I would like you to meet Graham Hawk. He's the former CEO of Hawk & Associates, or H&A, which is a management firm that was founded by Hawk's father in Bethesda, Maryland, that's been Graham's place of work since he was in college. Right? And back in 2019, his firm was hired by a nonprofit trade association for an annual fee of over $148,000, which the client authorized H&A to take in monthly increments from one of its bank accounts. But Hawk, he abused that trust and took way more than the agreed upon amount, stealing roughly $336,222 from the organization over the course of the year. Then, in 2021, FBI agents warned Hawk that they were investigating him for embezzlement. And then 2 years later, federal prosecutors told him, look, we have solid evidence that you took money from that trade association and we're offering you a deal to plead guilty to wire fraud. So Hawk, he seems to have this come to Jesus moment, where he realizes the jig's up. I've been caught. But notably, before pleading guilty, he takes his family on a vacation to Hawaii and posts about it on Instagram. You know how, like, when you get caught stealing a ton of money, so you spend a lot of money before being held accountable? But we're not even scratching the surface here, right? So in May of 2023, Hawk pleads guilty to embezzling the roughly $330,000 from the trade association. At which point you might be like, hey, the Hawaii trip, that's a bad look. But look, he's taking responsibility. But no, because after taking the plea deal, more nonprofit clients come forward and say, oh my God, he's been stealing money from us the whole entire time. With entire time being the key words, right? Even after the FBI told Hawk that they were investigating him for stealing money from the trade association, he kept taking money from other clients. Also, even after the feds laid out all the evidence they had against him in the case, he stole yet again. And hell, even after he literally pleaded guilty to that crime, this man still somehow managed to steal even more money from at least one client. So actually, as a result, Hawk had to plead guilty again because of the additional clients who came forward with allegations. With all in all, Hawk admitting to stealing $2.5 million from 8 different clients over the years. And that by double billing clients and accessing their accounts to take more money while falsifying balance sheets and routing funds overseas to hide crimes. Which, by the way, I haven't even talked about the specifics of this scummy aspect. Some of the clients that he was scamming, you had things like a museum association, but also a cancer research nonprofit. My man Graham was like, sucks about the cancer, but daddy gotta go on vacation. But all of that now brings us to the new news that a federal court in DC has sentenced Hawk to 5.5 years in prison and ordered him to repay all his victims. With the judge overseeing the case right before delivering his sentence saying, it takes a certain type of sociopath to be able to lie so continuously to so many people over a long time. Though this is on the other side, you had Hawk's brother writing a letter asking for a more lenient punishment and basically implying that he did this out of necessity. Noting that the firm lost clients when the two brothers took over for their dad and then took another hit during the pandemic, claiming that Graham inherited a large tax debt and was responsible for taking care of his wife, his 3 children, and his mother, which is a story that, like, my heart, it almost hits it, except for the fact, no, fuck you. If you're strapped for cash, you're not doing big, outlandish trips to Hawaii. You're not spending $75,000 in country club fees. This man was literally on vacation in Switzerland when he was first caught misappropriating his clients' money, which once again included cancer research nonprofits. Though this is for his part, Hawk apologized to his clients, his employees, his loved ones while appearing in court and adding, although I saw the worst possible consequences, failure, which meant closing the business and bankruptcy, I didn't foresee the far worse consequences of my actions, including divorce, hurting his family and reputation, and getting prison time. Though Graham, to give you a little cherry on top of all that, today you are our douchebag of the day. Enjoy prison, fuckhead. And then, mounting debt and trying to get ahead each month is more prevalent than not. And a large number of people are falling further into debt with credit cards, personal loans, medical bills, and more. And nobody likes the stress of mounting debt, the pressure that comes with it. I mean, surviving is not living. And if any of that resonates with you and you're ready to do something about it, today's sponsor, PDS Debt, has a program that rolls all your payments into one low monthly payment. And specifically, I'm talking about just one low monthly payment based on what you can afford. Or they offer options that allow you to pay off your debt in a fraction of the time, saving thousands in interest and fees. And they're a top-rated company on Google with an A+ rating on the BBB. Also, everyone with over $10,000 or more in debt qualifies, and there's no minimum credit score required. And right now, they're giving you beautiful bastards a free debt analysis. It only takes 30 seconds. So just head over to pdsdebt.com/DeFranco to receive a full breakdown on how to save on interest each month and the quickest way to take care of your debt. So just go to pdsdebt.com/DeFranco and get your quick and easy debt assessment today. Because you're not alone. It's time to regain control of your life and live for you, not your debt. And then, so you probably know, trying to get into college, it can be very stressful. And around the world, high school kids need to take college entrance exams to see what their chances are of getting into school. And in fact, in Turkey, these tests are so stressful that one student found a way to use AI to try and cheat on one. Although, the reason we're talking about today is that they ultimately failed, they were caught, and now they face jail time. And the details here, it puts what you and I definitely did not do with our TI-83 calculators to shame. Because the way it worked was it actually disguised a hidden camera as a shirt button and it scanned test questions. At which point the AI would work the question, figure out the answer, and send it to the student via a small earpiece. With the officers who arrested the student even showing off the tech in a video demonstration, it actually looked like it worked pretty well because it was quick to give